What's up, YouTube? This is Mathis97, and welcome to episode number 2 of my SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 General Manager mode. And as you can see, a trade was made. We traded away Stacy Keibler and Steven Richards for Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. Because, I mean, we need cruiserweights, and we also need people with popularity. Now, I probably didn't have to trade Stevie Richards away necessarily, but he's got 26 popularity, and, you know, just taking a look also at somebody like Tajiri that we have, who's also got low popularity, I basically have changed my philosophy with Tajiri, that we need somebody to be a jobber to build up the lower talent, and that's what people like Daivari, like Tajiri, are going to be. Stevie Richards, his popularity is just a bit too low for me. So I did also go ahead, I signed Orlando Jordan to the roster, because he's got about 50 or 40, you know, the upper 40s in popularity. So we're going to have them team up. We're going to try to put over Los Guerreros and Ric Flair in that 6-man tag team matchup. So I'm going to try simulating them at first to see how those kind of squash matches go. But we've also got a Fatal 4-Way, Carlito, Christian, Paul London, and Shelton Benjamin competing in a Fatal 4-Way. So mostly the Cruiserweight division being showcased in that one. Batista with Randy Orton in his corner will take on the Big Show, who will have Kane in his corner. So it's a bit of some tag teams we're forming up here on the show. And I did take some of your suggestions into consideration, which is why the next matchup on the card is Chris Masters taking on Edge. Yeah, that's right. We traded away Stevie Richards, but now we can keep Chris Masters as he'll take on the United States Champion Edge. And of course, here tonight, we need a main event. And so, tonight... Also, I wanted to point this out. I like this little layout they have where it shows whether people have been booked, and it also shows, you know, if they have some sort of minor injury. I just like that. I feel like that's really cool. The other modes in the future don't have that. They don't, you know, do the color-coded thing where it shows if they're booked or not. 07 might. I feel like it might have something in 2007 for that, but I'm not 100% sure. It may or it may not. I know 2008 does not, but 2007 might. It might do the color-coded thing. I'm not too sure, but I do like the layout for 06, how they do that. As you can see, I'm trying to randomly select a guy here, but considering you move it with the D-pad and not the analog stick, it wasn't really working, so I just figured, you know what, screw it, we're going to go ahead, we're going to pick Chris Masters here. As you can see, they also have this cool thing where you can check out the finisher situation. I'm pretty sure 07 has that as well. 08 does, but not like integrated into GM mode, because, you know, it just takes you straight to the match. And also you can choose, because in 2006, there really is no preference, you can go with clean or dirty for each individual matchup, as opposed to in 07 and 08 where you set them as to whether they're going to be face or heel at the outset, which, you know, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't really have a preference of the two, but I do think it's a nice little change of pace, considering we just came from 08 where they're face or heel from the outset. And in case you're wondering, yes, at some point in the future, I would like to do a SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 GM mode as well. I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to go about that. I would like to not do it on the PlayStation 2, but I'm not going to go out and buy an Xbox 360 just to play one game. So, I don't know. I'll wait to figure out what I'm going to do with 07, since I know that is an option. And, you know, also, with the way these older games are set up, we have a bit of a loading screen, so there's some information on the new rivalry system. For some reason, I don't touch on that in this episode by mistake, so next episode I'll show you a bit more in-depth what the rivalry system looks like if you're new to WWE games and you haven't seen it before, and then also I can just kind of praise it. For those of you who are here for the nostalgia purposes, you've played 06 in the past and you're like, oh man, this is such a good game mode. I just kind of want to watch it for nostalgia and I can get some enjoyment out of it. And this is also really cool how they actually like reach for the ropes to get the rope break. And also, yes, I am a noob in 2006, especially this episode. And I mean, I did a couple episodes in this session. I recorded up to episode 4, just in case you're wondering. So if you leave any suggestions, I might be a bit late getting back on them, but I definitely wanted to take some into account for this episode, for like the future episode. So I did get the idea for Chris Masters and Edge. Excuse me. I did get the idea to have Chris Masters and Edge feud for the title, and then I also have Triple H Kurt Angle. That was also suggested. And I haven't, prior to this recording, I hadn't done any playthrough of season mode, and you can see right here, I don't even know how to get into the ring. I figured out later in the recording that square goes into the ring and X strikes. It took me a while to figure that out at first. As you can see right now, Edge is just kicking my ass. I am not doing well at all at this point. So, I don't know, maybe for the later matchup, if I want somebody to win, I'll play as the other person. Maybe that's how I'll start off this series, because, you know, I gotta learn. I gotta get back into this game, because it's completely different mechanics. It does have, I do like how 2K15, 2K14, did W13 have it as well? Yes. No, actually, I think it started back in W12, where they went back to this sort of style where you just hit the buttons as opposed to using the analog sticks to grapple. Although this is a bit different because it's the PlayStation 2 controller, so, you know, square is the back button instead of circle. I don't know, just going back to the PlayStation 2, it brings back memories, but also, I've forgotten some things, so I gotta learn. I gotta learn about this game and remember how to do things. So as you can see right there, I tried to strike, and then I was like, oh, X is how you strike. And also the 2-button reversal system is very confusing, considering in the newer games it's 1 button. So I gotta remember this. I gotta get better at it. As you can see right now, Edge setting up Chris Masters here, and he's going for the execution DDT in slow motion. And now Edge is gonna go for the cover on Masters here. 2 count, but no, Masters kicks out at the last second in slow motion. Yeah, I think the slow motion might be a little bit overkill at times, but I'm pretty sure it's only in the singles matches, so I don't know, I guess it's a little bit better than what 08 does on occasion, where it does like a slow motion and then it does like it doesn't do a slow motion, it does a still shot in the 360 pan. I don't understand, I personally don't like that. I think it just slows down the pace of the matchup a little bit. It's not really something I'd complain about, but I guess ultimately if you hold a gun to my head and say, hey, do you like this or not? For one, you're crazy, but 2, I would probably have to say, no, I'm not a big fan of it. Which I'm kind of glad that, I mean, the newer games don't do the slow motion, but now they have the replays. I personally like that because it's more of a realistic sort of look on it. But I don't know. I guess still in the grand scheme of things, it's basically the same thing. I mean, they all have some sort of kind of replay system built into it. I know this has been a bit of a ramble, I guess, but I've been talking about 06 as a game, so I don't feel like it's too out of place. Not like some of my rambles that I've had in 2008 and even in my career mode where I've just gone on some odd tangents. But, oh, look at that, referee, disqualification, that's a low blow. Apparently not. So this match is going to continue. And, yeah, there will be an interesting sort of case of disqualification weirdness late in a future episode, though. You don't have to wait for that. Yes, but though, I may have recorded up to episode 4. Keep leaving suggestions. I want your feedback on this series, and I want some ideas for what I'm going to do. As I was saying earlier, I didn't do a whole lot of season playthrough just yet. After this recording, I did a little bit. I decided to do a season mode as The Undertaker. I'm not going to showcase it on the channel because, for one thing, that's just going to slow down my other content, and I'm not a huge fan of season mode. The only reason I'm playing it is so I can get the money to unlock Legends. As we can see here, Edge setting up Masters for the spear! And after Edge hit the execution, now the spear, I don't think there's really any reason that Masters is going to kick out of this one. Count 2 over 9,000. This match is over. 2, 3. The United States champion defeats Chris Masters here tonight as I put on a pretty poor performance in that matchup. Ugh. Well, I'll get better. I will improve and I will survive in this game. I mean, it's only episode 2. Considering the 2008 GM mode was 56 episodes, and I ended up cutting out, I think, like 2 of the episodes of ECW because of glitches or whatnot. So, I mean, this series should probably be something between 50 and 60 episodes. So, by that point, I don't think I'll be as much of a novice. I think I'll be much better by that point. You suck! Sorry, it's just funny how in 2006 they had the crowd chanting "You suck" during this entrance. Yes, it's a bit of nostalgia as well for when Kurt Angle was in the WWE. That was fun. And he's also in 2007, which is just another reason why the 07 roster is so great. You have guys like Benjamin and RVD and Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle and Chris Masters. I mean, even though they're all in this year's game, 07 for some reason is better. I don't know why. I just prefer 07. It does go into that whole like analog stick gameplay, but I don't know. I guess because it was the first WWE game that I really got my hands on and was able to play. Even though 06 was the first one I owned, 07 was the first game that I actually got to play, so maybe it's just a bit of nostalgia there. Let's go ahead and check out these pre-match tactics. I actually don't remember this. I don't remember how these go. So we got a test of strength, which is this is pretty cool. I kind of like this. I kind of like this start to the matchup. Oh, Triple H though, just almost a low blow there to Kurt Angle. It was definitely a metaphorical low blow. It was really, the test of strength. Triple H, though, is the heel, the champion. He just, just complete disrespect for Kurt Angle right there. But as you can see, Kurt Angle going right after the leg of Triple H, try to set up the ankle lock, and now just kicking away at the leg there of Triple H. But I know the newer games, it's got the whole chain grappling system, which I also like because that's how matches normally start up. And it does provide a pretty cool, you can have a nice exchange. I really like the 2K15 gameplay, to be honest. I mean, there's not a whole lot that I can complain about. The whole chain grappling system at the beginning, I like. Because, if you don't like it, you can turn it down so that basically, you can have it so that it doesn't last as long, or you can turn it up so there's a huge exchange at the beginning of a matchup. I mean, it kind of had a little bit of that. Back in 2006, maybe that's kind of what they were sort of thinking. Nice chop there by Kurt Angle. If we can let out a woo, if you're watching at home, comment down below, woo. Or if I can actually, let me prep myself so I can actually do a proper woo. No, I'm not going to do it, because for some reason when I'm on mic and I don't prepare it, when I'm in the middle of a commentary, I don't do it. I always screw up, so I'm not even going to bother making a fool out of myself again. If you want to see myself make a... Never mind. That's improper grammar, so I won't even finish. Triple H, though, off the top rope, hit a clothesline now, punching away an Angle here. As we can see, oh, low blow again! Referee! Disqualification. I mean, even Angle's the... he should have been set to a heel, but I figured because it's a heel-face rivalry, I figured I would set Kurt Angle to a face. Look at this, German! No, counter by Triple H. So... I don't know, that's part of Angle's arsenal as a heel, so I guess it works, but referee, disqualification. Look at Triple H, though. Triple H just going on the offensive here with the aggressiveness going right after Kurt Angle, and not just taunting at Kurt Angle, but Angle fires back with a clothesline. And yeah, the targeting here, as you can see, I'll go for a bunch of grapples or strikes, and I just miss randomly. So I don't know, I guess that's a bit of kind of bugs in this older game. And also, the grapple is circle, which is also a bit weird. And the finisher is back to L1 and L1, which, I can remember that. It's not too big of a problem. But the mechanic system where you gotta hit, like, X to strike, circle to grapple, takes me a little while to get used to. So we'll see how that goes. And with season mode, yes, I did get some suggestions to try to get Bret Hart, as well as Andre the Giant. I don't know exactly if I'm going to get all of them. I know Bret Hart would be cool to use. Not too sure about Andre. I'll think about that one. But I'm definitely going to go to try to unlock some of the other people. You can get Jake the Snake Roberts, but only if you play the PSP version, which, I don't know. That's a weird unlocking. That's a weird sort of qualification you have to meet to unlock it. I don't know. So Jake Roberts is an option, but other than that, we got, we have 80s Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, Junkyard Dog was in there, Andre the Giant, Bret Hart. I don't remember the other ones off the top of my head, but yeah, there are some other options in there, so maybe whether or not I actually sign them to my roster, if I just get them to kind of throw it raw so I can bring some other popular superstars over to my brand. We'll see how that goes. But Triple H now, once again, punching away at the face of Kurt Angle. I love that animation for some reason. I just really like it. It's just really aggressive, vicious. Just that brawling style. that, you know, definitely does encompass the Cerebral Assassin. And look at Triple H looking to put Kurt Angle away here with the slow motion pedigree. That's going to be tough to time in post-editing. Also, I didn't realize that select was how you regain stamina until this point. Because in, was it 2007, I think it was the same way. No, 2007, I believe it was select as well. But 2008, it was circle. What? No, 2008 didn't have stamina. 2007 was circle. 2006 was select, which I didn't remember either. So it just shows I got to learn a little bit more about. Look at. Also, did you see that drop kick, that animation where Triple H just kind of? Did you see the way he sold that? I mean, Triple H, man. Even in modern times, Triple H can still sell like a boss, even in video games. I mean, the way he sold that hip toss by Ronda Rousey, that was ridiculous. And then also that drop kick right there, he did like a backflip. I don't know. I'm pointing out some weird things in this episode. Some minor things as well. Now look at this Triple H counter. Delivers a kick to the gut of Angle. And Triple H really, he's got the upper hand on Kurt Angle right now. See, Kurt Angle's got a red head. Definitely taking punishment as Triple H slams Kurt Angle's head off the mat. I forget how to get out of the ring, but now that I realize it, at this point, like I said, I was playing as Triple H because I figured I would lose. So at this point, this was my emergency switch. I was like, no, Triple H can't beat Angle. We already had the challenger lose to the champ in the last match. That can't happen. So now you're going to see me try to struggle to grab that steel chair, try to battle with learning the mechanics, so I'm unable to counter, basically, at this point. I'm actually surprised that I put up such a good fight against Kurt Angle. I thought I would get my butt kicked, but somehow that didn't happen. So luckily, Kurt Angle gives me an opening here. Triple H is going to go into that ring as soon as he remembers what button to hit. And steel chair to the skull of Kurt Angle as Triple H gets DQ'd. So Kurt Angle gets the win to kind of spark the rivalry there. Triple H, though, you know, not looking too weak as he delivers the steel chair to Kurt Angle. Big Show gets the win over Batista. In the Fatal 4-Way matchup, it is Christian getting the win over Carlito, Paul London, and Shelton Benjamin. The jobber matchup, the squash match, Chavo, Eddie, and Ric Flair get the win over Tajiri, Orlando Jordan, and Rene Dupree. And Rob Van Dam, thank goodness, retains the title against Daivari. But yeah, the Guerreros are, of course, the tag team champions, in case you forgot. Not sure what I'm going to do with them for rivalry, so if you have any ideas, let me know down in the comment section who should face Los Guerreros for the tag team titles at Judgment Day, which is our first pay-per-view. Sorry about my throat. Or maybe they'll have a tag team title match prior to the pay-per-view, just to kind of boost ratings. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section potential feud for Guerreros and the others. As you can see, I'm just kind of surveying this whole like overlay, this whole graphic here. I kind of like this. Although 2007 has something very similar for WWE.com, 2008 does as well. Although 2008 wasn't as well defined. You couldn't explore everything, which was also kind of unfortunate, a bit of a setback for that year's game, which is why I'm going back playing the older games, see, you know, where the mode originated. But wow. Monday Night Raw got a 3-star. That's actually not a bad show. I guess when you have Hogan and Undertaker main eventing with the WWE title on the line, a hardcore match, well, we get 2 stars. I will admit, Raw had the better show, but it's the first week. Why are they putting the WWE title on the line? That's making it difficult because I'm trying to build up stories. They're just WWE title, let's go. Hogan, Taker, get your best guns ready. Put your dukes up. You're going at it right now. Forget rivalries or anything. We gotta bury SmackDown immediately. And that's just what they've done. We're already 170,000 fans in the hole, which is unfortunate. Thanks, Raw, for putting on a realistic product. And once again, we're just going to kind of gloss over the champions here. Not just the tag team champions, but all the champions. And we take a look at what the popularity did. Who took a hit this week, and who went up in the popularity this week. So, of course, guys like Edge, they're going to go up with their victory over Chris Masters. Ric Flair, also, we got to make sure we increase that contract because Raw only gave him 5 weeks. Is that really how you treat the Nature Boy? Man, Raw's so cheap. Really making me spend money on Ric Flair. They just knew I was going to go for him. They knew I was going to trade to get him. That must be it. But anyway, that is it for this episode of GM Mode. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode. And always, leave some suggestions down in the comment section, if you haven't already, for feuds, superstars I should get for, etc. Keep on YouTubing.